Yes. I suppose it's more for people who haven't seen the presentations, but I suppose this bit is useful for us as well. Thank you. And next on my screen is Barbara.
Yes, hello. I'm here for the Polish Sisterhood, which is an association I'm going to tell you a bit more about later. But it's a women's support organization, but we organize different events and programs, not just for women. And we would like maybe to learn more about how, we could go about sort of in a planned way to have more engagement from different generations in our activities. And yeah, so that's very brief.
Thanks very much, Barbara. And Deborah's next on my screen, Deborah Muldrew.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Deborah Muldrew, a lecturer in health sciences at Ulster University. I'm also a facilitator on the My Home Life Leadership Support Programme for care home managers, which some of you may or may not have heard of. But as part of that work, we run some quality improvement initiatives with care homes across Northern Ireland. And the one that I've been supporting the delivery of is around meaningful connections in care homes. And the research running alongside that, we found intergenerational work was one that came up time and time again as something that really helps to build meaningful connections for people who live in, visit, and work at care homes. So I've now joined the team with Professor George Kernahan and the wider team at Ulster University around some intergenerational work, and I'm just looking to see what's going on and really to learn a little bit more to see where we can fit in together.
Brilliant, Deborah. Great to have you on. And next up, Claire Maguire.
Hi, I'm Claire Maguire, the Children and Young People's Coordinator for Derry City and Strabane District Council. I'm also the lead on the UNICEF Child Friendly Cities programme, and we've just been recently recognised as the first child friendly city in Northern Ireland, city and district. We also have an age friendly programme, and I work closely with them. So I'm just interested to hear everybody's ideas and learn from them.
Brilliant, thank you, Claire. And next on is Pauline Clark.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I'm the Age Friendly Officer in Fermanagh and Omagh District Council, and as part of my role we promote intergenerational work and promote the information about the different grants and whatever that's available. And we ran a wee intergenerational event there during Positive Aging Month. It was about a factory that had closed in Omagh over 20 years ago, and we had secondary school pupils in there and about that, and we were working with our Southwest Age College, and they took it was their media students. They took a video of the day and the events, so we'd work closely with our heritage officer, on different intergenerational events like that. But again, keen to hear what other ideas people have on the call. Thank you.
That's brilliant, Pauline. And that video would be we did share that, but see if anybody has anything that they want to share, put it in the chat, because then it means everybody else can see it as well. Yep. Thank you. And next on screen is Helen McLean.
Hi everybody, Helen McLean. I'm Age Friendly Coordinator with Mid and East Antrim, so that would be Carrickfergus, Ballymena and Larne areas. I have some of my colleagues on the call as well. During Positive Aging Month, we had 3 intergenerational grandparents pop-up play, basically encourage free events with toys, refreshments and opportunity for connection, because we recognise that grandparents are invaluable when it comes to looking after the kids. I can speak from experience. We also had a paint by numbers session, a later life hobby. Initially, that started out as an exhibition of an older lady that had taken up painting later in life whenever she went into a local nursing home. And from that, we had an exhibition for work to promote people trying different things, getting out, meeting new people. And the workshop that closed the week-long exhibition was a try-it session really for painting by numbers, to see how you could zone out and just relax or chat with others. And totally unplanned, it became an intergenerational event whenever we had a few kids come along and join in as well. So to me it was very organic and I enjoyed it. We also have Joyce is an active member of our Age Friendly Alliance, and I would promote and attend intergenerational events in the borough, and look forward to attending more and hearing about what's going on everywhere else. Thank you.
That's brilliant, Helen. Thank you. I know the next two on my screen, there's Sean Doherty, but I think it says in the chat that they are on. You can see in the chat there they don't have a mic. I'm just trying to open the chat here. So it's Sean Doherty and Emily Tiffany, social work assistants, primary care, MDT and Derry. Apologies, no video or mic. Well, thank you for coming on anyway, and we hope that you can listen in all right. There's also Dr. Becca Watterson. And Becca has put a wee message into the chat as well to introduce herself. I don't think she has a camera or a mic, so she says she's very sorry. She's an education officer at the Northern Ireland War Memorial Museum, who we have done lots of work with. Michael Fryer's maybe been on the network meetings before, so good to have you on, Becca, and hope you can listen in. And next on my screen is Mara. Can you hear us? I just asked you to unmute there, but I'm not sure. If you can't get on to the Zoom, put in a wee message just into the chat, and then I'll come back to you. Wendy Cousins, you're up next.
Oh, hi Vicky, hello. Wendy Cousins, another member of the team from UU, and I've worked with George on the intergenerational care project, and he's going to talk a little bit more about that later.
Okay. Thanks very much, Wendy. I think that's everybody. Apart, let me just say, it's hard for me to see because I can't see any new people coming in. I'm just gonna scroll through. But oh, Roisin, I see you. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I'd missed my opportunity because I had to come out and go into settings.
We'll have a wee slot for you in later on, but even if you just want to, wee slot about the project, but even if you just want to introduce.
Well, we're relatively new, and my name's Roisin McConnell. I'm the nursery teacher in Whitehead Primary School, so we're relatively new to all of this. Linda, who you've just heard from a wee while ago, Linda Curry, who works at Whitehead Nursing Home, approached us last year, and we have, I think, had 5, maybe 6 visits to the nursing home with our children. Just as I say, it's all quite new for us, but Linda has organised various sort of topic-based activities and just different wee events, and we're hoping to our children haven't been this year, obviously we're sort of in the settling in process for their little ones, but we're hoping to have a Christmas party. So yeah, I'm just keen to see what other people in different settings and different sort of areas are doing at the minute, really. So
oh, that's brilliant, thank you. And I mixed you up with another Roisin as well, because there's there's so many people there. I know. I was thinking put you on the spot there, so don't worry. It's quite difficult. So you're putting everything together and then put the faces and names. So sorry about that. Have I covered everybody? If there's anybody that we haven't, do you want to shout out? I think everybody's introduced now. We recognize that everybody works in intergenerational works, doing lots of other jobs as well. So there will be people who might pop on and pop off, and not because we have speakers coming on later on who can only come on for a certain amount of time. So that's okay too. So I'm going to just see if we could. Joyce, I can't get it to open where we can just see all the faces. I can only see the speaker view because I was gonna take a wee photograph of everybody. But can you see it as everybody, Joyce, or? No, all I can see is just the lines across the top. I'm just going to look at one more bit to see if I can do it as speaker. You know the way you usually see everybody on the screen?
Yeah.
You hit view there, can you see, I think it says gallery? Yeah. It works for me there.
Yeah. Is it in? Oh, up at the top. Here we go. That's brilliant. Thank you. Right, I can see everybody now. So let me see, we have. So if whoever's not happy with having a photo, just keep your mic off. So I'm gonna just take away photo now. Let me see. Do you want to take a photo, Joyce, or do you want me to do it?
What?
I'll do it. Well, it's just print screen. So 1, 2, 3. And I've got it, I think. So just, oh, hold on. My laptop's weird. Okay, copy the clipboard. We've got it. So I'll share the PowerPoint again now, and we'll get started then on that. So I'm going to hand over. Can everybody see that? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to hand over to you, Joyce.
Okay. Okay. All right, everyone. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen this, but for those of you that haven't, it's just a wee bit about us. So Lincoln Generations Northern Ireland then. So our vision is a Northern Ireland that will be a place where all generations are respected, understood, connected and engaged together in their communities. And really what we would say is we add value with an intergenerational approach. So we don't ask you to reinvent the wheel or to do something specially just to make it intergenerational. We would say to you, look at what you're doing and think of how you can add in an intergenerational approach to it. And that's really what makes the work sustainable and exciting. So Vicky, can we have the next slide? Okay, so this is a wee bit about what we do. So our network that you're obviously all members of is now sitting at 1,074 plus members. It might have gone up since yesterday, I don't know. We also provide intergenerational training and that can be bespoke. So, you know, according to the setting that you're in, we can tailor that to really fit with what you do in your day-to-day work. We provide activity ideas and resources. If you look at our website, there's a very good resources section in that gives you lots of different ideas. And of course, all the different project stories as well will give people ideas about things that they can do with an intergenerational slant to it. We provide advice and support services. So, you know, if you need anything, you just come along and have a chat with us. Vicky and I, our contact numbers are on the website. And really the website, I have to say, really is a really good hub to provide really the direction for what you're wanting to find out about. We also have partnership activities and projects, and we're going to fill you in a wee bit about some of those today. We also do grants, of course, All Ages April, which coincides with Global Intergenerational Week from the 24th to the 30th of April every year. And then also our Christmas Connections grants, which were just shortlisted on Monday of last week. And all of the grantees have been notified then in terms of that. We're also a voice for intergenerational practice. We sit on all the age-friendly alliances and the loneliness networks. We liaise with education and do a great deal of work with care homes as well. So really, wherever you're going to find it, we're going to be there. And I've already mentioned Global Intergenerational Week, of course. So can we have the next slide, please, Vicky? So the benefits then of intergenerational activity, just to give you a bit of a refresher, I'm sure any of you who've been at these meetings before will have seen this already, but just to share it. So some of the benefits are the fact that it reduces loneliness and social isolation, and anyone who's taken part in any intergenerational work will be able to tell you that from first hand, that it definitely does. And of course, it builds friendships and social connections. It reduces ageism, because whenever people get to know someone who's older or younger, they start to see them as a person and not as the age that they are. So, you know, it gives us the opportunity then to address that, because we would say that ageism exists at both ends of the spectrum in terms of age. So young people can have stigmatized ideas about older people and vice versa. So then, of course, it perfectly creates opportunities for all generations to feel valued and to feel part of their community. So we talk about building cohesive communities, and that just means more joined up communities. It definitely boosts mental well-being and definitely boosts self-confidence. It increases understanding and sharing of experiences between generations. And in terms of the work that people are doing, that obviously is well demonstrated. And of course, it enhances learning and skills sharing across all age groups. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Joyce. So just, I wanted to give a bit of a quick update on LGNI, because I've been talking to some of you individually, and I think it's something that we're sort of ready to kind of go public with. So Lincoln Generations, as some of you may know, some of you may not, has never really been a charity in its own right in Northern Ireland. So we have always been hosted by the Beth Johnson Foundation in England. And the Beth Johnson Foundation traditionally was the UK Centre for Intergenerational Practice. So unfortunately, over the last few months, we have been kind of in discussions with Beth Johnson Foundation about their potential closure. And Beth Johnson is planning on closing at the end of this year for the delivery of their services, which is really unfortunate. It's just to do with different funding issues and endowment and all that kind of stuff. They're not completely certain about it yet, but when we were kind of highlighted in April, what we decided was that we couldn't let LGNI be lost as a result of this, and that there needed to be a local drive to ensure that this work would be protected for the future. So what we have managed to do is a group of local people who have been working closely with LGNI over the years, because we've been in existence now from 2008, and there's been so much momentum, and I think now more than ever there's such an interest in intergenerational work, and we've built such an infrastructure and a community of practice. So the people who there's a board has been set up. George is actually one of our board members. He's on the call. And the group have got together. They've submitted a submission charity commission. And we're really excited to say that we've been called forward, and everything's looking good. And we're working alongside Beth Johnson to do this process. So LGNI will still exist, but will obviously be a new charity. But what we wanted to say is, if you think, because it's just myself and Joyce at the minute, so if you maybe think we haven't been doing as much over the last while, or it's not been as easy as to get us, it has been quite a stressful time for the team, but quite an exciting time as well. So obviously this will be a new charity, but it'll have the same ethos, and it'll have all the same programs and the ideas as Gifted. So we just wanted to say, be patient with us over the next while, and give us support if you can. And that we hope to build a lot of exciting partnerships and new funding programs in the future. But we're kind of on a little bit of a scale down and deliver what we have left until we rebuild again. So exciting and scary, but we're glad to have all of you behind us, hopefully. So that's just my little update. And then I wanted to talk about the intergenerational Christmas campaign. So I know it feels like the year has just absolutely flown in, and I can't believe it's this time of year already. But we, again, this year, and as an organisation that prefers to message and influence, we use these different times of year, for example, Positive Aging Month, Global Intergenerational Week, Christmas, as times of year to say to our supporters, come on, let's make this Christmas intergenerational. Let's look at all those benefits that Joyce just talked about, and let's do intergenerational activities in the communities, organisations and settings that you're all in, to make a Christmas better for people of all ages. So from our perspective at LGNI, we're calling on our supporters to make Christmas intergenerational. We had 30 small grants, which it's always oversubscribed. We had a massive oversubscription this year, and it was really, really difficult to pick. So we're sorry to those people who didn't get grants, but we were really delighted that there's so many new groups have come on. So there's 30 grants, and 30 intergenerational activities are going to be taking place across Northern Ireland in December. I'll be putting out a post on social media about it this week with all the names, but you can go onto the website. The post's already up there, and see who there was. We have a little guide that we use every year that we share, and it's sort of ideas to connect generations this Christmas. We've already heard loads of ideas from the people on this call about what they're going to be doing. So please do share your stuff with us on social media. And the idea of that is that so that we can share it on, and it's like being part of an intergenerational movement. So for us, the more social media messaging that shares intergenerational positivity at Christmas, the better. And hopefully media and stuff pick up your stories as well, and are able to visit your projects. So we have been speaking to Twinkle as well. Again, we have a whole resource page with Twinkle Northern Ireland, who do resources for schools. Although you can go on as a care home or a youth group, and you can download those resources and you can use them. They are tied to different key stages in the curriculum. But Twinkle are planning on doing a bit of Christmas promotion around those for us as well, to reach schools. And it's always really enthusing to see actually how many schools have downloaded them, and they're free because they're charity resources. And as I say, there may only be 2 of us, but we're always at the end of the phone. We don't have as much capacity as we used to, but if you need to talk to us for ideas or anything, we're there. So I'm just gonna stop sharing and reshare, because I forgot to hit the button that does the sound and the optimizing. But this is just our wee Christmas video. Nobody's seen this yet apart from me and Joyce. So this is what I'll be going out on social media to kind of hopefully inspire our supporters to take some intergenerational. Ho, ho, So hopefully it all got you into the Christmas spirit a wee bit. So I'm gonna just pass over to Joyce. We will be sending out a Christmas themed kind of information newsletter with all of the links in it. And obviously all those photographs from that video, by the way, were all activities that were shared with us from last year, as part of grants or activities that people shared with us on social media. So it's great. It's great to see the real life kind of intergenerational work in action at Christmas. So Joyce, do you want to just run really quickly through this, because we will be sending it out, just to give some of the top tips?
Absolutely. So these are our top tips for an intergenerational Christmas connection into 2025. So as I've already said, you want to add value to your existing activities by involving other generations. But you're going to be bringing together people of all ages, bringing them together in communities through fun, learning and conversation. Above all, it should be beneficial, mutually beneficial and enjoyable for all age groups. So really that they're doing things together, and if they've had an input into it, so much the better. Participants have input, as I've already said, into design of the activity, and you could try quizzes, dance parties, sing-alongs, gift exchange, storytelling, anything and everything. And I have to tell you, the 30 grants that we've given out this year are covering off most of those bases. So we really hope that the links that you make will continue to grow all year round. As I've already mentioned earlier, making things sustainable is our ultimate goal. And also please sign up to the Linking Generations Network and get all the benefits of being a member. Publicity, share your activity and tag us on social media, because together we're obviously bigger than we are as separate entities. So thanks, Vicky. Okay, so now we've got plans from a Christmas grantee. So Susan, who you've met earlier, is going to tell us a wee bit about the activity that they've planned with their Christmas Connections grant.
Okay, the activity we have planned, Jill and I are planning to go down to St Patrick's Primary School in Ballygalget to meet up with the P7 class and their teacher. We're going to take some stuff down. We've got stuff already for them. We bought them in these Christmas baubles that they're going to design. So they're going to get a couple of these each to make for the residents of the home. We're also going to get a box, a trinket box, so the residents can always keep it. And we've got wee gems for them to decorate the boxes with. So they all look well. And then they'll also be given the residents a little gift. Now we've checked out, we're going to Bar Hall, we've checked out with them that the residents don't have any allergies, and that's why we purchased these. So Julie and I are going to be meeting with them on the 9th of December with the P7 class. I run 2 hen sheds as part of my health development work, and some ladies from the hen shed will be coming with us to the class in Portaferry and helping the children design and decorate their activities. Then we're going to take them out to Bar Hall on the 17th of December, and we're going to meet the children down there. They have activities to do with them, and we're going to come along and join in. So they're going to be all presented with their little gifts. These hopefully are going to be wrapped up as well. So
brilliant, because yours has actually you've got the hen shed, you've got the kids, you've got your shelves, and Bar Hall they actually presented on the last network meeting, so they did, yeah. So but it just shows you how like community can come together, you know, like all, because there's all different ages of older and younger people too, and all different things that they can do for each other.
There is, so hopefully it'll go all smoothly.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing your activity, so we do. And I will I'll share it on social media if you tag us.
Yeah, this is our first time doing this, so hopefully all goes well.
Oh, I'm sure it will. It'll be brilliant. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. Sorry, I'm flicking in between. It's just so that we can see everybody. And okay, Joyce, you're up again.
Okay, so this is the Reap What You Sow project through art. We had funding from the Arts Council of Northern Ireland to deliver this project, and we did 3 intergenerational arts projects in rural communities. REAP stands for Rural Engagement Arts Programme, and it is a specific funding stream from the Arts Council of Northern Ireland. So we worked then in Sion Mills with the Sion Mills Integrated Primary School and the Sion Mills Community Association and grandparents of the children from the school. The artist that we worked with there was Leona Devine. In Saintfield then we worked with Saintfield Men's Shed and Saintfield High School.
The artist there was Marquetta B. On the next slide, you're going to actually see the examples of the photograph of the art pieces that they produced. And then in Portaferry, it was Portaferry Crafty Crew, which is part of Community Services Portaferry, and Portaferry Integrated Primary School. The artist there was Davy Holden. And as you can see here, some stats about how people have enjoyed it. So 69% of participants involved had never been involved in an intergenerational activity before. And especially when you consider one of the older ladies in the group was a grandmum of one of the children from the school. So, you know, it just goes to show you. 73% of younger people and 100% of older people felt more connected to their community as a result. The children were P3, so they were quite young. So I think probably if they'd been a bit older, you might have seen a higher percentage there. 82% of participants said they'd like to take part in more intergenerational activity, and 5 out of 6 leaders said they would too. Was one who was unsure. And in terms of trying new things, then 85% of younger people and 100% of older people said they had learned something new as a result of taking part. And I actually delivered on the Portaferry project, and I have to tell you, it was a joy to be involved in. And here we have then the art pieces. The first one is Sion Mills, which is just like a little town they made, which is fascinating. And then the middle one then was Portaferry. And as you can see, that's the teacher and some of the children with the artist. And I think that's the deputy mayor from Arts and North Down. You can just see behind the teacher there. And again, they did a mosaic of things that were important to them from around Portaferry. And then the last one was project in Saintfield, where they burnt sort of things into the wood. I forget what that's called. Vicky, can you remind me?
It's pyrography. It was
Yeah.
quite a weird one for me trying to find an artist that did pyrography. But it was the high school, Saintfield High School, and the main shed, and they basically worked together on. It was different. So whether they were in the interest of Saintfield, but then also local history, you know, things of local relevance. So the bench actually looked absolutely stunning. So it did. And we had a big barbecue at the end to celebrate. So those projects were they were really good. They were what we did as part of those projects. So was instead of us saying you're going to be doing this type of art, we brought the groups together to generate their own art ideas, which was a little bit challenging, but obviously better in the long run. So people were actually telling us we didn't have an artist in mind until after we did the workshops with them to find out. So slightly challenging, but yes, really, really rewarding project. So the evaluation of that is on the website. So you can go in and you can read all about it. It's in the news section, and you can download it from there. Where we're next. So I just wanted to give a quick update on this because the Creating Intergenerational Communities project. So I know some of you might have been involved in this. This was a really kind of groundbreaking intergenerational training quality program that Lincoln Generations worked on alongside lead partner Generations working together in Scotland. And Apples and Honey Nightingale, which is an intergenerational partner that we had in England. So together, the 3 organisations worked together on this quality programme, which was the main focus was setting standards for intergenerational work and creating a toolkit that would allow people and practitioners who deliver intergenerational work to self-reflect and evaluate, so that in the end, their intergenerational connections with other practitioners would be of higher quality, and their work would be of a higher quality, and ultimately there would be a better sustainability from the work that they do. I think it has worked. The project has definitely worked. We had 30 pilots right across the UK, so there was 10 in Northern Ireland. Since coming back sort of after the school term in September, we've seen 4 of them that are still very, very active and working away. The toolkit is something that we have had to kind of protect because we're trying to move this forward into a quality program that we can have different hubs and people can, so when you've done the quality program, you appear on the map and all of that kind of stuff. The problem with us is in our current situation, we have had to kind of halt this. Scotland are just about to relaunch theirs, as is the organisation in England. Lincoln Generations hopes to not be far behind, but we do need to access some funding to be able to do that. So just to give an overview of what that involved, you know, it was 32 partnerships right across the UK. But the big things were there was a quality indicators toolkit with free training from the 3 organisations. There's a network, a UK-wide network that happens sort of I think it's every 2 months. So the trainees can come on and sort of network with one another, share ideas, one-to-one support with workers in each of the organisations. As you can imagine, we just wouldn't have the capacity to do that at the minute. So that's just a wee update on that, and watch out for that, because I think that programme, we would love that to be a bit of a core of what we do, bringing on cohorts of people every year. Now, I have included, there might have been some people that have seen this, but I don't think so. We were quite excited to do a social return on investment research on this, just so that we could show the value of intergenerational work in pounds. So I have a video presentation here from the researcher. It is 6 minutes long, but I think it's very informative, and I would like to show it. So I'm going to play it now.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Turner. I'm a director of Bean Research, which is a evaluation organisation specialising in social impact and social value analysis.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why that stopped.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Turner. I'm a director of Bean Research, which is a evaluation organisation specialising in social impact and social value analysis. We've been working with the Creating Intergenerational team for the last 2 years, and today I just want to briefly talk you through some of the findings of our evaluation. There'll be a fuller report with a lot more detail in, but just for a couple of moments to share with you some of our findings. The key thing we're talking about today is assessing the social value, the social return on investment of the toolkit-enabled practice that has happened as a result of Creating Intergenerational Communities project, their toolkit and their training alongside that. Those of you in this room and committed to intergenerational practice will be really clear on the benefits that you see, and it's something that we've seen and tracked through the course of this project: boosting mental well-being, reducing ageism, creating opportunities for everybody involved, and crucially building bonds, friendships, social connections between generations. We've also seen outcomes in terms of increased physical health and in school engagement as well for the younger people. The question we were asking ourselves, though, is not what the benefits are so much as what the social return of that is. Our analysis showed that the value or social return on investment from the project was £3.7 million, being created through those increased skills and knowledge shared across the sector through the toolkit and training, as well as outcomes such as physical and mental health and well-being and social connections. That means, based on the funding received from the National Lottery Community Fund, that's £6.97 for every pound invested. The figure itself, though, is just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath that is really where the learning comes and the point of social return on investment analysis. The opportunity to really understand how you drive change in communities and how, of course, you can build a larger footprint as a result. Our analysis, therefore, and how it breaks down is therefore quite useful to know. It's really made up of 3 elements. The first is the activity itself, who took part in the activity and who it impacted. There were 400 young people that the 32 projects involved in the Creating Intergenerational Communities project worked with on. 450 young people, 696 older people. And across those 32 projects, 162 practitioners received training about intergenerational practice, 120 received specific training about the toolkit, and 117 practitioners worked with the intergenerational development officers in Scotland, Northern Ireland and England over the course of a year or longer to encourage best practice, share, learn from best practice. The second element is outcomes, the so what of that activity. For that, we're using feedback from older people themselves, from the young people, but particularly from observed observations from both those responsible for the older people and for the young people who came along, as well as the project leads in those organisations. So for older people, again, we were looking at well-being, increased physical activity, enhanced social connections and engagement. For young people, real evidence of improved well-being, more intergenerational connections, and for some, increased engagement and attainment at school. Also, and this is really important for this sort of work, we're not just looking at the impact or the outcomes for people involved, but for how the toolkit and training helped develop the practice for those 32 projects. And we know that the projects reported increased awareness of best practice, they improved their learning through evaluation and learning and feeding that back into the projects. And there were a number of projects which wouldn't have happened as without this project. The third element is causality. So really focusing on how much of the outcomes were caused by the contribution of this project, of the Creating Intergenerational Communities Toolkit and training and support. That's crucial because what we're not doing for this project is looking at the social value of intergenerational practice, more about the social return of the investment of this project of the toolkit. So we have discounted some of the attribution because some of this activity would have happened anyway. Then each outcome is assigned a financial proxy or value based on peer assessed financial proxies guided by HM Treasury Green Book. The numbers experiencing each outcome is driven from feedback from the project leads and people involved directly. We did all this based on the Social Value International Principles, of which we are accredited practitioners. As I said at the beginning, where there's a fuller report with all of this, but I just wanted to feed into your celebration day. Apologies for not to be there in person, and I hope this is useful and helps generate discussion about the social value of intergenerational practice and the learning and sharing best practice that Creating Intergenerational Communities has enabled.
Okay, thanks very much for listening to that. It is really, really interesting to see kind of, we kind of thought, how can you put a value, you know, on intergenerational work, but it's nice to have that piece of research actually, and we hope that it can be used as well, you know, for moving the work forward. So I want to pass over to George Kernahan and Wendy Cousins and Deborah Muldrew from Ulster University to talk about their Japan exchange and the health benefits of intergenerational activity. So, George, are you happy enough just to tell me when to go through the slides?
Yeah, that's grand. Thanks very much. I've only got a couple of slides, so not take too long. I wanted to give you a wee bit of a flavour of what we've been doing and what we're planning to do in terms of academic work to support this intergenerational work. A bit like what you've been hearing about, trying to put not I suppose we're not so interested in the cost evaluation. We're looking at the potential health gains for older people and the learning gains that we can identify for children that are involved. The reason for the international aspect was that I was working on a different project in care home setting in Japan, and I came across this setting where they had a creche on the ground floor of the care home, and it was like you could see the benefits, some pragmatic benefits that were obvious in terms of the type of support that the young children needed and that the older people needed in their care needs. And then whenever they got together, there was joy, and you could see the excitement both for the wee ones and the older person. So I thought there's something here that I need to understand a bit more about. So bizarrely then, whenever I came home, I could find that there's a whole small industry doing this work, but not very much hard evidence and not very much built into policy. It seems that a lot of this work is on the edge of responsibilities. It's not central to what care homes provide. It's not central to what a creche or a school curriculum, although it might be corrected there. But I'm trying to enhance the underpinning evidence that would support this work. So this group that you can see, some of them on the call. I'm glad to have a team that's supporting this. Vicky, you're involved as well, and then the colleagues in the new name, the Institute of Science Tokyo. They've changed their organization. So Yoshi, Yasuko, and Satoshi are the three names that we've got to know. The research has already looked at staff perceptions to try to understand what are the potentials that the staff see in this activity, and that's been written up for publication, and hopefully we can share that and let you see what the staff that work in care homes feel about this. We also have a study on the effects on children of their involvement. That's in Japan, but that will translate, or at least will be valuable to consider. And then exciting travel news, we got a grant to support three colleagues coming from Japan to observe some of our activities, and two or three of us are heading out to Tokyo to experience how they manage and deliver intergenerational activities. So that's going to happen 2026. I'll tell you a wee bit more about that on the next slide. So it's a funded project. It builds on an ongoing relationship since I started on that, and we've built good relationships with those three people in particular, but what wider in their context. So it's looking at how to assess the health and educational gains that can be identified, to then give recommendations to help us with the small projects that I've heard about, to make them more sustainable and more, I suppose, more policy oriented, more embedded in the work of the various agencies that are involved. And the last point is that I'm going to need your help with this, because whenever people come to actually observe, we need something for them to observe. I'm hoping to pick a time in 2026 whenever there's activities going on, and to invite our colleagues over from Tokyo and ourselves to come and understand what's good about the work, and how it's best to be researched as well. So there's learning, quite a bit of learning involved in this, because it's quite a complex relationship-based experience that doesn't really seem to be part of anybody's actual job, apart from Vicky and one or two others. But yeah, so I'm hoping to make a contribution that way. I'm looking forward to next year, and of course also keen to support the LGNI, and I'm involved in the charity, and I think I'm a trustee as well. So looking forward to that work too.
Brilliant, George. Thank you so much. It's really exciting to see the high level stuff as well as the grassroots work on our network meetings now. And I think, this is a really exciting opportunity as well for anybody who's on the call who has intergenerational activities that we could potentially use as visiting models, for these. So I'd be happy, George. I know we can send out maybe a call through the network, to the members, but I'm happy if anybody thinks so after this call, like I would, really like, this opportunity, to get in touch, and I can signpost as well.
Okay, brilliant.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Joyce, I'm going to hand over for you to do an introduction.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce you now to Barbara, whose second name I cannot pronounce, and hopefully she'll share it with us.
Yes.
She is a board member with the Polish Sisterhood, and she's going to, they have had funding from us previously. She's going to tell us a wee bit about what they're about and what they do. So
Yes,
Barbara,
hello everyone. Yes, I'm on. Thank you for this opportunity. As I said, this is a community organization. We are a registered charity called Polish Sisterhood, and underneath it's in the Polish language, means like sisters circle of women, literal translation. So if we can have another slide.
Yes, Barbara, if you just tell me when to go and I'll...
Yeah. Well, that's the only place where I made it like look nice. Yeah. So her story, for change, instead of history, I'm not original here, but because it's a women's organization, just very briefly about our sort of history, her story. So at April 2016, two Polish women were meeting friends, and they were, discussing the problems that obviously being, in a foreign country, in a different country, can create. And that the idea of creating this women's support like cycle was born. And then in May, there was the first women's cycle during 1st of May, sort of May Day. In Beaver Forest, 6 women were there. And fast forward, well, the meetings between 2016 and 18 were happening in people's homes, every time in a different woman's home, once a month, just to discuss any, topic that women would just bring forward. And it was just for women. And majority of them were kind of late 20s to late 50s at the time. Then in 2000, from 2018, that year was sort of important because actually that's around the time as well I came on board. I wasn't that much involved before, and I had some experience of setting up other organizations. So I helped as well to kind of draw up a constitution and establish it as a charity. And then COVID came, but by the time we started to get like small partnership work, initially, because we are based in Belfast, so and kind of lots of people would come from South Belfast, and we had some links to people working in Chinese Welfare Association. So we got sort of small pots of funding through them with Active Belfast and me, but the minority ethnic Active Belfast programs. So we organize like walks and other things like this, like outdoor activities mainly during this time. And then we started to apply for some funding. During COVID, did some remote things, but it was not much of Zoom remote, sitting in front of a screen, but it was just guided remotely things like where people were cooking and then sending us pictures, and we were putting up, like competitions. And so that involved families to some extent too. And cooking together and going for walks and then sending us pictures of those walks and meeting you kind of in a, with distance, in competitions whenever the prizes were given out. And then we got properly registered, became a charity in 2022. So that's kind of let us, yes, if we can go the next slide. Oh, actually, there's another one of those curtain ones. So yes, so we really developed over the years different events, and some of them were very regular. Like I mentioned at the beginning, the Women's Cycle, which was once a month, every third Saturday. And we're looking for a place to meet other than a homes, because not everybody was comfortable. So we found our kind of headquarters in Accidental Theatre in Finsbury Square. That's where we are until now. And there's a book club as well, which is part of the library, Polish library that we have. And that's, again, meeting of people who like to read books, an age, but the majority would be adults, because we read them in Polish. And younger generations, not all of them get that skill of reading. And that's every last Sunday of the month. And then Board Games Club was there, where obviously that would bring, any generation, families with kids playing together, and that was really good. And Drowning of Marzana, which was again Polish traditions. Marzana is like a kind of doll made of straw that you throw into the river to basically make sure. Oh, sorry. I have to do the something. At the end of winter, and then May Day picnic always, and especially the solstice night, the longest day in June, which we can see in the picture here. So activities as well were like different workshops we had with, because the language barrier, so we were trying to always encourage facilitators who would speak Polish and would be Polish, like Polish counselors or Polish, specialists in different areas, IT or some others, some trainings, and but also very important, walking. We found like walking, gardening, we had ballroom dancing that would attract people from different age groups, and arts and crafts as well. Those kind of activities, and because the Women's Cycle would be just women basically now between 30 and 60. It's very important for us to have more of that as well, those not regular events that would attract different ages. We would like to have that really there. Yes, and just briefly, we have recently been able to offer a position for a part-time support worker. So that's a person who can help, and reach out, especially to lonely people, sometimes elderly people, and with disability, sometimes younger as well, with domestic violence. But just we found, even today, there was actually someone who emailed us completely out of the blue, saying like, oh, I know a Polish person who lives on her own, and she's quite lonely. I'm concerned, and I wondered whether you could help. And we were just thinking like, we asked like, how did you find us? He said like, you just put in the Google Polish lonely Belfast, and we came up at the top. And I was like, oh, that's great. Sort of finding ways to reach to those people is important for us, and also connecting them with younger people. Yeah, and then I already mentioned that we have the library, Polish library at the Badgers, lots of books there, monthly book club. We also were gathering before Christmas books for prisoners as well in Magabry. And then just a few pictures from different activities. So like arts and crafts. So we could see like young people and older people. We had drawing. That's a cycle down. We have once a month. And that was on the right here as it was a healthy food. So people were bringing some healthy dishes, and we were having a competition, sort of, experts were assessing like how good they are. And there were some prizes. And next, maybe a few more pictures in the next slide. Oh, it's the same one. I think it's by mistake, so maybe we'll go to next. Yeah, that was the sightseeing. I don't know if you could guess where. I think is the dairy on the left and the Arma on the right. We also went to see yeah, so that was like, different generations again for sightseeing. Dancing, as I mentioned, we had very good one, and maybe there were not the very small kids there, but there was ages from 20 to 60, yeah, something. And then the board games as well down here, pictures of those. So I think next, maybe one of the last ones. Yeah, maybe it was the last one. I don't know. I think there was just the one that just gave our details. No, we have a website, polishsisterhood.com, I think. Yeah, and yeah, so
put it into the chat, Barbara, unless I
yeah,
maybe
I will. I will
when I
put
was
it
copying
into
the
that.
slides.
Okay.
But
Yeah, so
thank
we
you so
definitely would
much.
like to make more of that connections, and we were thinking as well about care homes, and the way people sometimes there are very few Polish people that are in the care homes. They would maybe just have connection with the care workers who are Polish, but would be nice to maybe have them join some activities that we do if possible, this way as well, and just finding just other opportunities for partnering with other groups.
Well, thank you very much, Barbara. And it's lovely to have something like slightly different on where you have taken a real intergenerational approach to what you do. And I think it's lovely to see. And thanks so much for connecting with us. I know that you were one of our grantees as part of All Ages April. And thanks very much for coming on. So put all your links into the chat function, sure,
Okay.
and then we can share those on. So what next bit is just to talk about our Art Across Ages project with a couple of speakers on from this as well. So I'll just give the basic information to introduce. So the Art Across Ages project is currently running at the minute, and there's 4 intergenerational arts projects as part of it, and it's part of the Arts Council for Older People program. So we're working with 4 care homes, 2 primary schools, 2 secondary schools. We have Lockview Nursing Home up on the Antrim Road, and pictured here are our sixth form health and social care students from Trinity College. On the call with us today, we have Hawthorne House, which is just behind ST Bells and off the Upper Newton Arch Road. And they're working alongside Bloomfield Collegiate and artist Heather Cassidy. We're also working with Bloomfield Primary School and Bramblewood Care Home in Bangor. And I can't remember the name of the school, Joyce, in Macrofelt.
St. Patrick's the Loop.
St. Patrick's the Loop and Marina Care Home in Macrofelt. So our role really was to link these groups up to deliver dementia awareness to the pupils to prepare them for going in dementia and intergenerational awareness. The groups will then take part in 6 art sessions, all delivered by local artists. And then our celebration events are coming up soon. And our real hope for these is that we give people the opportunity, and there's hopes for sustainable relationships. So I have everyone on the call with me. Fiona, are you there? If you could just
say I'm here.
Yes. And are the pupils from Bloomfield here? Can you see if they're on the call, Joyce? And I know Heather's on. Well, we start with
Sorry, hi there, Vicky.
Yes, you're there.
You're from Bloomfield.
You're all right. Are you on, Miss Monteith, or are the pupils on too?
I'm on. The girls are way home. It's after 3:25.
That's right. That's right. No problem. I know it's been quite difficult because there was a youth worker came on there too, but it's quite difficult to get the agenda all matched up. But look, we'll start off. I have just put a couple of photographs together, and I'll show the photographs really quickly, and then I think what I'll do is I'll come out of the PowerPoint and let people see your faces. So this is just obviously a photograph of the whole group, and this is some of the artwork and the people enjoying the artwork. So I'm going to come out of this, and I'm going to go to Heather first, And Heather, if you just really want to give your perspective really as an artist on the project.
Certainly. Yes, as I say, most of my work is with community groups and so on. And I work as a facilitator at Boom Studios. So they approached me about getting involved in this project, and I was really delighted because it's an area that I really wanted to get more experience in. So that's been really, really wonderful. So the idea that we came up with for this project was to have a complete wall hanging as a final piece, and each of the 6 sessions we would be working on smaller textile pieces. So I've got a few here just to show you the kind of thing we've been doing. So we've been using jelly plate printing. So our theme has actually been autumn. So we've been bringing in lots of conkers, autumn leaves, and like we've been doing some drawing of mushrooms and some stamping. So lots and lots of things. And it's been really, really enjoyable. And definitely for me, for the young people and the older people, there's been a really sort of positive progression as the project has gone on. The first session, people were a little bit unsure. The young people were quite shy. And as each week has gone on, those relationships have just grown and grown. It's been really wonderful to see the older people looking forward to the young people coming and, you know, asking for them and really actively taking part in the art activities and, you know, really finding confidence through that. So it's been a really, really wonderful project to be involved in. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Heather. You've been great. I'm going to go to Miss Monteith next and lead on from what you were saying about the young people. And just if you give your perspective as a teacher being involved. I'm sorry we missed the pupils. The time has actually just run away with the schedule.
Vicky, Heather, Fiona, it has been a beautiful experience for the pupils. Just absolutely amazing. Sometimes the residents didn't really want to engage, but the pupils were so dedicated, so patient, so encouraging, and they've just built up such a beautiful rapport. Us as teachers are so impressed with the girls.
Mm-hmm. And I really noticed the difference when I visited last week, you know, about, you know, how comfortable everybody had got, the confidence in the artwork and the confidence, you know, in the participants as well.
And one of our pupils is selective mute, but each time she gets great enjoyment from it and is so willing and really enjoying the experience. So that has been fantastic too.
Brilliant. And it'll be really good to collect. We'll collect evaluation data from all of this. And obviously it'll be up on our website, you know, the outcomes of the project. And Fiona, finally with you, just from your perspective as an activity coordinator and how it's been for the residents and for the home.
Okay, so thank you to Heather and Shauna for your fantastic words. Totally agree with every word that you have said, and it's been our privilege to welcome you into Hawthorne House to work along this project. So I've just written a few things down here. So I think from our perspective, the whole project was summed up last week when one of our residents, I was saying to them, oh, it's the day for the girls from school coming and you'll be working with Heather on a new project today. And I said, you know, the students are coming along. And she said, she doesn't speak very much, this wee lady. And the smile on her face when I mentioned this young girl was coming in to sit with her, I had tears. And when the young student entered the room, this wee lady's smile, yeah, spoke volumes. Anyway,
yes, yeah.
But I think we know what we're talking about. The friendships have been formed through the joy of learning that's brought out the most caring, empathetic, kind, understanding and community spirit across both generations. To witness the bond over the last 6 weeks has been extremely heartwarming and overwhelming to see the residents just because they sit with me, oh, I don't want to do it, and trying to encourage them some weeks gets really frustrating. But as Shauna said, and Heather, when they come through the door, they realise what is going to happen and they just totally engage with it. So it's been fantastic to see that they then have a sense of purpose
again, which kind of they lose when they come into the care homes. The residents, every week when everybody leaves, oh, I thoroughly enjoyed that, was so good, are they coming back? So I don't know what I'm going to do after tomorrow when you guys aren't coming back. We don't have a set plan. Hopefully we can progress it forward. But the residents have thoroughly enjoyed and welcoming everybody into the home and fully participating, sharing skills, sharing knowledge, sharing their wisdom, their life stories from both sides of the generation. It just made the residents feel extra special as well. And you can see the students learning of the ageing and the challenges that the ageing process brings along. The project has also helped keep the residents' minds and bodies active, alert, and again, it just gives them purpose. To work alongside Shauna and Lorraine and the students and Heather, of course, with Vicky, it's just been an absolute privilege. And I would hope that, moving forward, we can keep it going and invite you back along, maybe do some storytelling, or we spoke about the choir maybe from the school coming. That's maybe something we can look at in the future and some other craft activities. So, yeah, it's been great.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And I suppose that's our main aim when we do projects like this, is that, we have enthused and created relationships that will continue. So thank you so much. I was going to hand over next. Is Roisin on the call from Assumption?
I think so, yes.
Are you on, Roisin?
Hello, Vicky. Yes, I'm on. Sorry.
I'm going to let you go because I know we're getting near the end, so I'm going to let you go. And just to give away introduction, Roisin had contacted ourselves. Was it back last year? And you had a real interest in doing intergenerational work, and you've got it off the ground. So I'm just going to let you tell your story.
Dublin had phone here, so apologies. Yes, I've got in touch with Vicky before the summer. I had worked in Victoria College as a health and social care teacher, and Anya Lone, my head of department at the time, had a very well-established intergenerational project running with some local care homes. So I moved to work in Assumption in 2018, and we started quite an informal little project with the LGNI Centre in Ballynahinch, and our Year 11 health and social care pupils visited the day centre in the run up to Christmas. They made Christmas cards, they did Christmas crafts, and it was really just starting to get as well established, and we were starting to see the benefits for the pupils and the older people, and starting to think about where this could go. And then unfortunately COVID hit, and that really put a spanner in the works. So it has really taken until now for both ourselves in school and the day centre, Grove House, to get established enough again that we were able to give this another go. So I made contact with Vicky, and we had an event at the end of June where we had some older people come into school and meet with some of our Year 9 pupils. And we had a little board game cafe set up, and the pupils cards and learned how to play some board games that they had never played before. And likewise, the older people learned games like Jack Change It that they had never learned before. And it was really, really valuable. And it was just a lovely morning. And both the young people and the older people, and actually the staff, got an awful lot out of it. So Vicky then and Joyce then approached us and said that there was an opportunity to run a little joint project with Grove House, and the focus is digital skills, so using IT and using technology. And we've had 2 meetings so far. I'm bringing a group of pupils down tomorrow, and it has been really lovely. And I think in my head, I maybe overcomplicated things at the start and thought that we were going to have to source iPads and borrow iPads so that we were able to organise something really meaningful. But actually, last week when we were at the centre, some of the older people just wanted to see how to use the features on the television. Some of them just wanted to know how to phone Vodafone to find out the balance on their account. And it was lovely just seeing the pupils and seeing how patient and kind they were. And, you know, they're all able to problem solve. They all know how to use their phones to Google things. So even though they maybe didn't know exactly how to Vodafone, they were able to suggest how they could get around that. And we have a few more sessions planned. So we are going to think about now how we can use IT to maybe deliver a little craft project for Christmas and get the pupils to look up ideas on YouTube with the older people and then get them together to maybe plan what they would like to do. But it's very unfortunate that, you know, in the last week, we've just found out that the centre that we work with have had their funding cut. So they had been open 5 days a week, and from this week they've found that it's only 3 days. So we are going to have to work around them a little bit more, but they're still keen for us to visit and still keen for the project to continue. But we're just maybe going to have to be a wee bit more selective about how many pupils we bring and the days that we attend. So thank you very much, Becky and Joyce. You've been a help.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Roisin. And it's just great to see, like, everybody has a story of how it started and what they did. And I think it's so important. These network meetings are really important to share. And that's the idea of them. You know, and it's really, that's my daughter. Hi, mommy. Home from school. But it's always great to share. And what we're going to do is, so that's us at the end of the meeting now. But what we'll do is we've recorded this, so we will be sharing this, you know, on our website, so that anybody who's missed it can watch it again. But also what we would like to urge us to do is to, if we are doing stuff, is to share on social media so that we can share as part of the Christmas campaign, keep up the connections. And I would say, because of the situation, we're going to do an update meeting for February, and just tell people where we're going, what's happening, and obviously, see, even the stories that we've collected today, I think maybe some of those stories need to be recorded and put into proper videos. But we'll have a wee look at that as well. Now, I am going to send, it's so important for us, evaluation. I'm going to send an evaluation form out, an online link. If you could all fill it out, I'd really appreciate it, because that's the only way that we can show that the network is important, and that it works. And I would urge anybody who hasn't signed up to the network to sign up. So we had one last item on the agenda, but it's something that LGNI was sharing, and we'll keep it for the next network meeting. So it's just left me to say thank you so much to everybody for attending, and thank you so much for all of the amazing intergenerational work that you all do in the communities and settings and organisations that you're in. So I'll see you all later.
Thanks, Vicky. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.